today I wanted to talk to you all about self-sabotaging, which actually I found a bit of a mouthful to say. So if I screw my words up, that's why. But it's a really important topic. It's something that I know you're doing right now. You don't mean to be holding yourself back. You don't mean to not be making the progress, but we are all sabotaging ourselves on some level. We're all getting in our own way. Now, the idea that you're like deliberately holding yourself back sounds crazy, doesn't it? It sounds nuts. And this is why I want to talk about this topic, because I think it's really, really important. But there's so many things that we do and then we can beat ourselves up about. But when you can just sort of see it from the perspective of self-sabotage, I've personally found this really helpful on my own journey, and with that of my clients, I've noticed this really makes a difference. So I'm going to tell you a list of things that I feel you're probably doing right now. You want to do all of them, but do let me know if you're watching this live. Let me know in the chat, or if you're watching on a replay, let me know in the comments below which ones you're guilty of. And I'll be honest, I'll be hands off, and I'll tell you which ones I have been guilty of. And that are signs that you are self-sabotaging. So do you ever like see a message from a client and just be like, oh yeah, I'll just do that later? Like maybe it just feels like, of course, a message from a client, particularly a new inquiry, you should be delighted about, but somehow you find yourself going, oh, that's great, I'll do it later. Whereas really, if it's possible, the best response would be to deal with it straight away. So do you ever put off dealing with messages or emails from clients or potential clients? How about procrastinating? Like, do you plan to write reports or plan to do the admin and then find that you've spent half an hour scrolling through Facebook, you know what all your friends have had for dinner, or you've looked through hours of someone's holiday snaps, fallen into a total internet rabbit hole and haven't actually done the job in hand? Do you find that you are putting off either starting a website or updating a website? Because that's a massive side of self-sabotage, and I'll tell you a bit more about what I feel some of these potentially mean and how I have worked my way around these as well. How about getting stuck in perfection mode? So this is totally sums up one of my lovely clients, but it's easy to do. Like, nobody wants to do a rubbish job of anything, of course. No one wants to put stuff out into the world with their name and business logo attached that is, frankly, rubbish. But there's the rubbish end of the scale, and then there's the ultra perfect, never got finished. Just go for the middle. High end of the middle is what I aim for. Done is better than perfect is one of my favourite mottos. So do you spend hours stuck in perfection mode? How about writing, this happens to so many people, I've heard this again and again, writing a post like about 10 times over for Insta or social or something, and then really struggling to press publish, live, hit, make it be visible, basically. Do you find that that's a problem? Because I hear this again and again from people. Do you spend hours writing the most amazing article? Now, I know loads of people say this on the retreat or blog post, whatever you want to call it, but then about 3 people see it because you aren't signposting to the world like, hey guys, I just created this amazing article, come read it. You're doing the stuff, but you're not telling anybody about it. Are you guilty? This was one of mine. Like breaking things based on your business, like your branding. Like, you need some basic branding, 100%. But, are you guilty of redoing your logo, changing the colors, changing the fonts, like rebranding when it's totally unnecessary? So, or maybe you're at the beginning and you're just really struggling to decide on anything. You're just really, it's taking you weeks or months when actually it should be a relatively fast job. To me, self-sabotage. You can be consciously and unconsciously self-sabotaging. So it's not necessarily your conscious brain going, oh no, well, we just won't do that, we'll hold ourselves back. But somewhere in there, something is holding you back. Overthinking every single social media post and ending it with no content. This was a lovely client I worked with last year. She just thought everything through so much. And of course it's good to think through what you're putting your name to, but to such an extent, things never got off the paper and she just had no content. She just published nothing, which actually, if she'd just done published some great ideas, she had loads of great ideas, and got some stuff off the paper out into the world, it would have been much better for her engagement and her audience. Broken links. Do you have broken links on your website, or is it really hard to find the contact button, or is it like almost impossible to work out how much the price of something is or how to pay you? Again, hiding basically, or not allowing people to book you and not allowing people to pay you money, another sign of self-sabotage. Are you struggling to build an email list? Now, I don't mean you've got an email list and you're struggling to get people on it. You're struggling with like the concept of making yourself do this to gather people onto a list. Reinventing the wheel, breaking things, starting things over in your business which probably already work fine. Nothing has to be perfect. It needs to be functional. You can upgrade and improve things later, but it's easy, particularly at the initial stages, to just get stuck in this kind of procrastinating. Actually, is a great expression from Denise Duffield-Thomas, which I love. I think she's fab. But it's true, you can just get stuck in the initial stages of redoing the same stuff, and you might have like 3 clients. If your logo is orange or your logo is turquoise, that's not really stopping your 3 clients turning into 6 clients. What's stopping that is you not taking the right sort of action steps. So procrastination is a real red flag for me. But yeah, there's a whole list which I thought would be really helpful to run through, but I term all these as self-sabotaging. Now, you might find you do loads of these and then say something else to yourself like, oh, why am I so lazy? Why am I not making progress? Oh, you feel so frustrated with yourself. But to me, when you realise that we are, without necessarily consciously intending to, holding ourselves back, it puts a totally different spin on it for me. Now, I shared this in an email a couple of days ago, but if you didn't see it, I'll just quickly tell you. I did loads of these things earlier on in my business journey, sending out the wrong link to thousands of people. Yeah, guilty. Didn't mean to, of course, on a conscious level. What else was I really bad at? I used to get stuck in perfection mode, but I totally got over that. Sometimes putting off replying to people, I think was one I was guilty of. But I thought I was over I told you I couldn't say it, self-sabotage. But do you know what? It came back to literally bite me on the backside really recently, which is, 1, this is top of my mind from that, and 2, I was discussing this with my mastermind clients, and this is something she knows she can be guilty of. So I thought, let's just share it with more people, because the more people that see it, the better. So what did I do recently? Well, do you know what? It's all going swimmingly. Worked through so much stuff. Business is going really well. Got a really good balance. Feeling really good, really happy. It's all going peachy. Then what do? I find, now I am married to the most loveliest, patient, kindest man. He is awesome. And then suddenly I find I'm being like really narky, really snappy, rude, basically, a bit shitty, if I can say that. Yeah, grumpy, snappy, just not really a very kind person to him. And I didn't even really know why, but like, whatever he did, it was wrong. Everything he did or he didn't do was not right. And then it was my birthday. He bought me the most beautiful jewellery. He's bought me so much lovely stuff over the years. He bought me this beautiful bracelet. And I was just like, well, I've already got bracelets. What do I need another one for? How rude and ungrateful is that? That's when I realised that something was really up. I mean, actually, it's here. It's on my desk because I was wearing it earlier. I mean, look at this gorgeous bracelet. Who could moan about that? Who moans about a beautiful present? Then I realised what the problem was. Everything was really good. I had really good balance, I think. And somewhere, I clearly didn't feel comfortable with the idea that it could all work. Business was going great, the kids were great, my marriage was great, I was writing a bit more, it's all like ticking all the boxes. And clearly, some bit of me, I decided I didn't feel worthy of this, I wasn't comfortable with this, so I felt I needed to break something. And how I was trying to break things was temporarily, like it was literally only a couple of days, being a total witch to my poor husband. As I said, I suddenly hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh my God, I am self-sabotaging my life. Like, what am I doing? And realised that I must have just had a fear, I suppose a fear of success. Like it all felt too good to be true. And that made me feel uncomfortable on some level. So for me, wrapping this up, it all comes to fear. All those not doing the admin, falling into the trap of watching cat videos or whatever, not getting stuff done, setting up broken links, people can't pay you, or they can't find a way to pay you, your website doesn't work, or whatever it is. It's a fear on some level. So to me, it's always three fears: failure, success, or judgment. And when you just are aware that you're probably not being lazy, you're not stupid, or whatever stories you tell yourself about why you're not doing something, there's a reason that you don't want to do it. You're holding yourself back. And which one is it? Are you worried about it all going too well? Which can sound like a crazy fear, because you think, well, who doesn't want more clients? But I've had, so many people feel like that. What if I got so many clients I couldn't cope? What would I do? How would I look after my children, caring responsibilities, animals, if I suddenly had 50 new clients or whatever? So fear of success is a real one, although it sounds crazy, it's definitely a real issue. Fear of failure. It might be that you don't want to press send on that email, or you don't want to go live or hit publish on a Facebook post because you're worried that no one will comment, And when you realise that sometimes you do posts and nobody comments, and you just do another post and you just learn, you make it better, you feel fine about failing. Because is it a failure? It's just a milestone in business. Of course you're going to have posts where nothing happens, and they could be the posts that you thought would be amazing, because you'll also have posts which you cobble together in about 3 seconds flat while you're mucking out a stable or something, and then that's the one that gets 50 comments on. So fear of failure, fear of success, and fear of judgment. Judgment is a real issue for so many of us, but if you can get yourself to the point that you feel secure in your knowledge and your offering, and knowing that you're getting results for your amazing clients, you find you don't really care what other people think, because the people that do the judging don't do the doing. The people that are busy judging you are not getting the success they want. They're jealous, quite simply. Why on earth would you sit there waiting to trip other people up, waiting to criticize other people? The people that are doing well are cheerleading other people doing well. So to me, it all comes back to one of these fears. This is how I work on self-sabotage and help my clients with it. Which fear is it? What can we do to out-action the fear, quite frankly? Now, tell me, which ones of these self-sabotaging behaviours have you been like nodding along to? Let's have a little check in the comments. I couldn't see it while I was just talking just then. Which one do people feel? Oh, Lisa. Oh, hi, Lisa. I just left you a message, actually. Procrastinating. Isn't it a great expression? Lisa, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm on logo. Is it number 3 or number 4? In my defense, my first logo was pretty rubbish because I just created it on my phone, because I started my entire business on my phone from my sofa. August bank holiday 4 years ago, I started my entire business on my phone. So yeah, it's okay to rebrand, and it's okay to everything to become more grown up, so to speak, as your business does, but don't get stuck. To me, I just felt like I just wanted my name written, basically. I think I just cobbled together something on Canva. It was fine, and it did the job. You can get logos produced really quite easily and relatively cheaply. So yeah, don't get stuck there, because you can change logos. As I said, I'm 3 or 4. It's had a few changes. One I thought was great, and then I put it out in the world and I was like, oh, it just doesn't do quite what I thought it would. So don't worry about changing it later, but do worry about not getting it done in the first place. Honestly, just get your 2 favorites. What I do, and I advise my clients to do, print them out, stick them up on the wall, and you'll soon just find you gravitate towards one. And then just go for it. Honestly, your logo is not going to define you for years and years to come, because you can change it, and get it done whilst there's like 100 people watching rather than 1,000 people or 100,000 people watching. That's my best advice. Cheryl, how are you, Cheryl? Nice to hear from you. Cheryl, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I hope that's how you say it. I always find it easy to do something else instead of making phone calls. Just give yourself like a target, like calling one client a day. Just keep it on a basis that you feel comfortable with. If you're sitting there going, I've got to call 20 people, maybe that does feel off-putting. Just say to yourself, I'm going to call one person in the morning, call one person in the afternoon, and that, for 5 days, that's half your 20 people done, isn't it? And you're better to do it like that than not to get it done at all. Well, lovely to chat to everybody, but honestly, watch out for self-sabotage, because as I said, I was like, yeah, there's no way I'll be doing that anymore. Boom, what did I do? Yeah, my poor husband. But anyway, all sorted now. I really wanted to share this with you because it came to a shock to me, and it's something that I definitely got stuck with in the early days. So just wanted to make sure that everyone had some information about that. It's always going to come down to one of those fears. When you work out which fear it is, you can decide how to take the action against it, because that is the way to outrun fear, is to just take action, because you can't be scared when you're actually doing something. So I will love you and leave you all. Stick any questions below this video and I will pop back later to come and answer those. And take care, everybody. See you later. Bye.